Just for your information, this meeting is being recorded for publication on Thatcham Town Council's YouTube channel. Good evening, councillors, and welcome to the meeting of Thatcham Town Council on Monday, the 29th September at 7 o'clock. And we'll go to agenda item 1. Do we have any apologies for absent? We do, Madam Mayor. We have received apologies for councillors Suzanne Adamanthras, Jeff Brooks, Ian Cottingham, Mark Thomas, Owen Jeffrey, Dave Lamb, Jay Lamb, and Justin Pemberton. Thank you. Agenda item 2. Do we have any declarations of interest? And can I check? Do we have any public questions? None received. Oh, thank you very much. So item 4 is the minutes, and we're looking to take as read and confirm as accurate the minutes of the meeting held on the 23rd of June 2025. I have read those minutes and I am happy to propose them from the chair. Thank you, Councillor Stevenson. Can we have a show of hands for all in favour? Thank you. The next item is reports from the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor.
You're considering the minutes of the 31st of the month, but
That's item 6. Sorry. That's fine. Councillor Stevens. Might sound a bit like I'm going to sing. Oh, of course. I'd love to see the pictures of you. I will apologise now, okay, because I have been here and everyone. No. So I'll try to make it as quick as possible. This is, I think, becoming there. I've had quite a full calendar and lots of invites. So I had an invite with the Coal Dash Brass Band, and that was on the Mermaking Day at St Mary's Church, and it was a wonderful event. I do love the Coal Dash Brass Band. On the 14th of May, the Wessex House, the musical building opposite Waitrose in Newbury, was officially open for Bridge for Young People. It was a wonderful event. So many people attended and the sun was shining, and obviously that's close to my heart because it's one of my own charities. I also on the same day attended a fostering walk with the West Berkshire fostering team just to promote what foster carers do. On the 17th of May, I had an invite for Bee Day at the Nature Discovery Centre, and that was really, it was a really packed event. There were so many people milling around, and it's lovely to get to see the queen bees. On the 17th of May, I then was invited to a Thatcham Tornadoes event at Kennett School. Wow, this is really a showcase event. It was done. It's over 2 days, and I think there's about 4,000 people attend over the 2-day period. It was wonderful. And I was very honoured to be able to give out the medals for the youngsters, and I enjoyed it so much I invited myself back the next day to do the same.
That's a great picture, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
That's my daughter's team.
On the 18th of May, there was some of the Kennett students had a fundraiser at the Frank Hutchins Hall because they're going to Cambodia, and I had a few moves or cried, I shall say. It was a really good day, and then as I said, I went back to the Tornadoes event in the afternoon. It really was wonderful. It was well managed.
can't say enough good things about this event. On the 19th of May, I was with the West Berkshire fostering team, just chatting to people that were interested in fostering. So spilled the beans on fostering, and that was a Squire's coffee shop in Newbury. And then on the 20th, I attended a coffee morning at the Baptist Church. The same day, I went to a Athena network of businesses in Thatcham and Field. On the 21st, I was at another West Berkshire fostering carers celebration and long service award, where they I did a talk about all the 3 of my chosen charities. On the 22nd, I attended the Thatcham Comedy Club. Really good evening. On the 23rd of May, it was Dementia Action Week party here in our own Jubilee Garden. Lovely afternoon, really well attended, and there was lots of tea and cake flowing, and I think it just really felt all about community. I hope everyone had a lovely afternoon. 24th of May was the Memorial Foundation Classic Car Show. On the 24th of May, I attended Thatcham Bowls, Big Bowls Weekend, and this was an event where it's free for anyone to go and try their hand. Again, in the afternoon, I was at Project Salama's 3rd birthday party. The 25th of May, I was again with a West Berkshire fostering team, doing a day in the life of a foster carer at the Artisan Market in Newbury. And then on the Sunday, the 26th, there was an open day at Englefield House, and I was invited along, and I helped serve the teas and cakes and clear some tables. I got my hands dirty that day because I wanted to help as much money as I could for one of my charities. On the 29th of May, I visited 8 Bells, and these are a group that are in Newbury, and they'd invited me to meet the volunteers, and they actually have about, I'm sure it was about 40% of the people that go to 8 Bells are actually from Thatcham, even though it's from Newbury. So it's well worth a visit. If you've never been there before, I really suggest you go to have a look. On the 31st of May, I was invited to Tuxchange, which is a school uniform exchange shop. So you take in a pair of trousers that's small and you'll get the next size up for free. So this is amazing for families in our area that are struggling financially. On the same day, I had an event at Thatcham Bowls again, and the Bowls England team were down. On the 3rd of June, I was at the Baptist Church talking to the women's ministry. And then on the 4th of June, I was invited to the Waitrose Community Cafe at one of their monthly gatherings. Same day, I also had to present a community award that was actually awarded by the former mayor, Suzanne Adamantos, and it just didn't get delivered in the required time, so I went and delivered that to somebody at the Cadets in Newbury. On the 5th, I was at the base, the Wildlife Photographer of the Year event. On the 7th, there was a sarcoma and cancer charity masquerade ball. On the 14th of June, there was a ladies' breakfast event that I attended at the Baptist Church. On the 16th of June, I was invited to the therapy centre to meet and greet the team and the volunteers there. Also on the 17th, I went to the volunteer centre, and that was another invitation to meet the staff members and some of the volunteers. The next one was fabulous for Thatcham. On the 19th of June, we had the opening of Sabres, and I've never seen a queue along that stretch. It was all the way to the Broadway. It was wonderful. And then on the 22nd, I was invited to a cost of cancer charity, which was put on by Jump for You, and it was raising funds for people. They help with bills if you're going through cancer treatment. It was a really, really worthy charity. On the 24th of June, I was at a fostering event in IKEA Reading. I did a face-to-face Athena network event on the 25th, and that's for Thatcham and Theo businesses. The knowledge event was in the afternoon, and that was put on by the Volunteer Centre West Berkshire, and that was a fabulous event at Shaw House. It was really a showcase of all the charities. And on the evening of the 26th, I was invited to the High Sheriff's summer reception. On the 29th of June, we got our wonderful Thatcham Family Fun Day. I didn't put too many pictures because I'm sure you were all there, and it was such a fabulous day. It really is our showcase event, and the staff did a wonderful job. On the 1st of July, I attended an event with Councillor Mark Lillicrop, the Deputy Mayor, and it was at Newbury College UCN Expo, and it was a really great event. And Warren Page from Extract, actually one of the local businesses, got a Lifetime Achievement Award. And I know they do a lot for, I think they sponsored an event at the Fun Day, so the car show, yeah. I was at an AGM at the West Berkshire Community Hospital. Was invited to Whiteland School music event at Kennett School. I think schools all put in invites because I know Mark and I attended quite a lot of those. There was also an art and design technology competition at Trinity School, and also a Newbury Squadron open evening. We also had in Thatcham a new charity shop open called the Retrograde, and it's a CIC, and it's linked to, it helps with sport costs for, like, if somebody's had an injury, they will help a family so that the child doesn't have to stop doing sports of some kind, so if they need financial help. So it's worth us promoting that for some of our families. I was also in Reading at a Berkshire Revolution EV event that I'd been invited to with West Berkshire Council. There's a lovely picture there with the Newbury Pride, with the ambulance that was all in the Pride colours. Had an event with Swings and Smile, Life Flights 25. We had the opening of our digital notice board, which I think has had a really good uptake in the Broadway. Lots of people have commented on that. Then there was numerous events at the schools, art and summer exhibition, dance festival, and summer productions. And on the 20th of July, we held our United Service of Remembrance at the London Road Cemetery. And that was a lovely afternoon. On the 22nd, I was at the West Berks Community Hospital, and there was a garden party, and that's the picture at the bottom. On the same afternoon, I attended an AGM on Zoom for the Citizens' Advice. On the 23rd, the West Berkshire Therapy Centre invited me along. they had 2 new machines, so they wanted me to cut the ribbon for that. I also attended the comedy festival that week and the opening of the Femella Club in Newbury. On the 2nd of August, I was invited to the Cats production of 39 Steps, which was wonderful. Really, really good evening. The whole family enjoyed that. Then I was invited to the Cameo at St Mary's Church, and that's a lovely group for people that might, suffering from loneliness or just want to get out, have quizzes. It's a really lovely event to go to. I was also at Swings and Smiles, helping them sell tickets for the Thatcham Rotary at the market. I was invited as well that same day because we had a young lady doing a football-a-thon and raised over, I think it might have been over £1,000 for Swings and Smiles. And then we also had the Mayor's Garden Party that afternoon, which was here in the Jubilee Garden, and that was another lovely afternoon raising money and highlighting the profile of the charities I'm supporting. On the 12th, there was a blue plaque filming. I know Emily has worked really hard doing some wonderful videos that have gone out over the last few weeks, and they've had so many views. That's been wonderful. I was also invited to a barbecue with the Thatcham Photographic Society and a coffee morning at Thatcham Cancer Care Support Group. There was the VJ Day service, and there was then refreshments after at Thatcham Memorial. Invited to coffee morning at the allotments. We had our wonderful Kids Fest, which was amazing in the High Street and it was packed from morning till night. I cannot say enough good things about that. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. On the same day, I was invited to a community race day at Newbury Racecourse with Home Start West Berkshire. And then on the 30th, I had quite a busy day. I was invited to opening of a new store in Newbury, which was for SEN neurodiverse children. It's a board games. Absolutely wonderful. You've got every board game in there that you can think of. You can get a cup of tea, cake, and I just thought it was wonderful to have something like that for families in the area. It was Touch Jane's 5th birthday, and they had a party that they invited me to, and also the first Thatcham Scouts 90th birthday, and that was at the Thatcham Rugby Club. There was also another Cats production. Everyone's talking about Shakespeare. Again, was fabulous. Then the following day, I attended the Repair Cafe. And they managed to fix my chain box. So that was really good news. On the 4th of September, went to a welcome space at Alice by Court, and this was one that was set up, and they'd applied for a grant that we awarded them. So we helped with the funding for this one. And then in the afternoon, I went to a Bollywood party with Project Salama. On the 6th, I was invited to the Baptist Church, the men's breakfast, where I did a real heartfelt talk about fostering and my experiences, and they'd invited me to talk about that and my charities. So that was really a lovely event. On the 7th, we had I was lucky enough to be invited and help pour all the ducks off the top of the bridge for the Thatcham Rotary duck race. And then on the 9th, I went along with Councillor Watts, Councillor Jeffries and Councillor Justin Pemberton and myself to meet some of the team at the Citizens of East. And I thought, because it was so long, the whole of September, I've given up there. I'll keep the rest for the next one. Thank you. All right.
Yes.
Over to you.
Well, quite, yes, thank you very much. And yes, congratulations on covering so many events, and quite a few outside Thatcham as well. And it's so nice to be able to represent the town in events going on around the region. So as you can imagine, there's very little for me to report really, because the mayor has been so assiduous in covering the events in the area. One or two highlights that I draw your attention to. I was delighted to attend the Army Reserves and Cadets briefing at Sandhurst in June. I did feel considerably outranked, being there with Captain Stevenson and I believe Colonel Vickers, is it not? I'm sure the other dignitaries there, but no, it was really interesting, if slightly alarming, briefing from the Army on that day. Very pleased to be able to attend one or two events at Trinity School, which is a school very close to my heart, but we haven't had a huge amount of engagements there in recent years, and it's great that we're back on very much on the invite list at Trinity and being very much part of the events there. A really good summer concert there. The Mayor's already talked about Thatcham Fun Day. That indeed was a fabulous day. I was particularly pleased to be asked to carry the Pride banner there in the procession, and I think that's a very significant event. It's a really good day. Yes, again, we've covered the University College Newbury Expo there. It's a really fascinating event where you get the opportunity to speak to apprentices and students about the amazing technical projects they're undertaking. I think in most cases I didn't have the foggiest idea what they were talking about when they were demonstrating these items, but it was quite fascinating. And the level of detail and expertise that these young people were demonstrating, I was really, really impressed by. And yes, indeed, Warren Page there, he's an amazing guy, and he has a huge range of anecdotes, but the work he's done at Extract is quite extraordinary, and we were very pleased to support him with his Lifetime Achievement Award. Then it was back to Kennet for a summer concert, which was exceptional, and over to Trinity for their presentation evening. And yes, congratulations to all of them. As the Mayor said, Cats managed to put on not one but two productions in August. One of them indeed starring our Councillor Cole here, who was exceptional as ever on stage. Yeah, we managed to have that amazing photo. It's rather extraordinary, that photo. It doesn't make all the cars look like cardboard cutouts. Yes. Yeah. I can assure you they were anything but. They were really good, and it was wonderful that we were all able to get to those productions and to be part of that. And yeah, as we said, that fabulous range of heritage videos which Emily's been busy producing with various commentators. I did that a little bit, but do catch up with all the representatives, councillors, heritage working group members who've put those videos together, because that's a really useful, lasting record of the background to all the plaques in the town. Yeah, that was the mayor's garden party, so I featured a couple of other councillors there who were included in the garden, and also attended the repair cafe at Frank Hutchings. Yeah, I don't know who these three miscreants are, but the rest of the Kids Fest was really exceptional. I mean, what a great day that was, and absolutely every report that I've heard from people who attended was so positive. And I think the timing is great, coming towards the end of the school holidays when parents are running out of ideas as to what to do. And I think we come to the rescue with that one, and that's really great. Just a couple of things that I covered for the mayor during September. The opening of the new tennis and netball courts at Hennick. This seems to have gone by slightly unnoticed, but there's fabulous new courts have been opened there. And I was sharing the honours with Colonel Vickers again there. And it was it's a lovely facility, and it was really nice to be able to talk to some of the participants in the tennis and netball teams who will be using those courts moving forward, and it's great to be able to offer that. Couple of coffee mornings that covered. It seems to be coffee morning time, and the amount of coffee and walnut cake I've eaten in a couple of weeks is quite phenomenal. But it's great to be part of these events, the URC Fair Trade Coffee Morning there. And the subject came up again about us being a fair trade town. And that's something obviously that we'll look at and take offline. And also the Macmillan Coffee Morning in Bucklebury there, which we were invited to, and that was a fabulous event as well. And that just brings us round to Sunday, the Eco Living Market on Sunday, which there were some brilliant stalls there. Unfortunately, the weather wasn't terribly kind, but it was a great market there nevertheless. And that juice was exceptional. Only £5 a bottle, it should be, I suppose. So that's a great event. So that rounds off my report. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Lidcott. Well, at least I have left a few for you to do, because it looks like a big. Right, on to agenda item 6, approval and adoption of minutes. Councillor Cole.
I propose for adoption of minutes of FGP 21st July.
Yes, of course. Do I have a seconder?
So second.
Can I have a show of hands for all those in favour? The 6B, just to let you members know that some of these minutes have not actually been approved by the relevant committees yet. So we're going to defer 6B, the ones for Recreation and Amenities Committee, from the 22nd of September to the next full council meeting. And the same for 6C, one of those, the committee minutes from the 23rd of September have not actually been approved by that committee yet. So what I'm looking for is to approve and adopt just the committee minutes from the 1st of July, the 29th of July and the 26th of August. Is that fine to propose?
Yeah, Madam Mayor, I'd like to propose the adoption of those 3 sets of minutes.
Thank you. Is there anyone that will second that? Thank you, Councillor. Have a show of hands for all those in favour? Let me just check this one. The town centre committee ones are fine. So we're now going to do item 6D. And we're looking to approve and adopt the committee minutes for the town centre minutes dated the 14th of July. Does that find a
Acceptance.
Thank you, Stevenson.
Seconded.
Thank you, Councillor Charlotte. And we are going to have to defer 6E. Because, like I said, these haven't been approved by the relevant committees. So we'll defer them for the next full council meeting. So that's.
Madam Mayor, do you want to vote on the town centre?
Oh, sorry, Councillor Stevenson. Right, should we have a show of hands for all those in favour, please? Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Stevenson. Right, the next item is agenda item 7, and it's the flood alleviation works at the Brownsfields. And we are to receive a progress report from the acting town clerk on the transfer of land.
Yeah, the flood alleviation work and also item 8, the cricket club lease, have been discussed as committee before. So I just wanted to give you a little update of what was happening. So West Berks are completing the works, and you may have noticed that the boundary fence is now in place at the top of the cricket field. The heads of terms are being produced by the land agent and are almost ready to be sent to our solicitors. The cricket club lease will become part of the heads of terms that are being approved. So once they're approved, we'll then move on to the cricket club lease, which will be welcome to have everything finally. So I just wanted to give you a quick update on where we were with those things.
Thank you. I was just about to say, I know it doesn't require a vote, but if any members have any.
Just a point of information, I have been away for most of September on family matters. But when I last passed the area, the trees were looking very sad and not healthy at all. I'd like some reassurance that they're not dead. And if they are, that they be replaced is just a point. Thank you.
Councillor Stevenson.
I live right over in the corner there, so the end of my garden is the final garden for the field. And so now I am by the potential dog walking area.
Wow.
Now, people are using it with their dogs, but it is just hugely filled with massive weeds. You know, it's not a dog walking area, it is a field with a dip in it, the overflow ditch, and weeds. That's all it is. So something needs to be done to that area to bring it into anything that looks like a dog walking.
Councillor Stevenson. Councillor Shipard.
Yeah, I can, two of the points there. So looking at those, are they the 6 that were laid recently? Yeah, so they are pipe of water pipe. I think potentially it could have been when laid, obviously with the summer, etc. But they seem okay. Yeah, I wouldn't say dead. I just think possibly it's the type of tree and in the summer we've had. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes in the winter through for spring. So it might need a bit of extra if it's a deciduous. That's my horticulture knowledge. With regards to the park, very interesting. I've just spoken to someone who just happened to stop me while I was talking about the dog walking area because I'd see him. And I said, "Oh, it'd be really good to have some community people who get together." And for one person to say it's amazing, because it's exactly the same thing. There may be some trip hazards because you can't see them because of the weeds. Obviously, it's that type of weed that just comes up everywhere. You know, if there's space, weed will grow. And I completely agree. And obviously, there's a bigger project in mind. You know, we make it all nice, and obviously we've got Thursday happening as well. So, but I think Thursday needs to happen. I think to make sure that the people in place on Thursday can then help WBC. And I know you're going to say something, Mike, on it, because it's not, there's a bigger thing to make sure, yeah, it's safe, obviously. So,
Councillor Carr.
Can I point out that area, the dog walking area, is not the Memorial Foundation's responsibility, it is West Berkshire District Council's
there we are.
responsibility.
Stand corrected. Thank you, Mr. Cole.
So we need to test.
Yeah.
So can we tell them that it's weeds, please? And something needs doing about it. I think
As far as I'm aware, it hasn't been opened as a dog walking area at the moment. I believe all of the temporary fences were taken down and people are using it, but I don't believe it's been opened as a specific dog walking area at the moment.
Councillor Pike.
Thank you. So my recollection of the planning permission was that West Berkshire Council was required to provide a replacement walking area, but it did not explicitly say where that would be. So we have to chase them to both as to where and when they've just told us where as to how it's going to be implemented. I don't think there are many other alternatives, but that's, I think, is the formal position.
Thank you, Councillor Pike, and that was exactly how I remembered it. I just want to check, we did cover Thatcham Town Cricket Club League. Does anyone have any comments or questions on that point too? Okay, so we'll go on to the next item, which is the St Mary's Churchyard Wall. And we're going to receive a progress report from the acting town clerk on the planning application state.
Just another small update on an ongoing project. The tree and land surveys have now been completed and the planning application has been submitted to West Berkshire Council. So the project is progressing.
That's really good news. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Okay, brilliant. Right, agenda item 10, reports. So, reports from Thatcham Town Councillors and West Berkshire District Councillors on council surgeries. So I need to check who's here tonight, so we've got quite a few missing. Item 1, Councillor Boyd, would you like to give us an update or?
I would defer to Councillor Cotton, who is also there,
Oh,
because I've got another one coming.
thank you very much. Councillor Cotton.
It was fine, a few months ago, and I don't remember specifics, but I do remember as usual, the warm welcome of the public, just to find councillors there to listen, to note, and to ask action to be taken by them. And continuingly, I enjoy it. It's a really good thing to be here out with the public and getting their responses. So sorry for no detail there, but it was always on.
Thank you. So the next one will Councillor Lunn, who's not present. Right, and Cottingham, who were also not present tonight. So we're going to have to report. Oh, okay. Yeah. So we do have a report actually that we can look at on screen. That might be a bit easier to go through. Although it's rather small, yes. Yeah. There's a tab. So I can see their allotments. There's concerns that some are not being used and left behind to run wild. On that one, I know I work very closely with the allotment type, and they are very hot on speaking with the relevant officers to let them know if they're getting overgrown or people haven't been down for a while. I'm sure concerns are raised
These are also these are July.
Pigeons fouling on buildings, not sure.
They're playing football, they're fouling.
We don't know if they're overly.
Okay.
I don't know, I was just going to draw attention to the playing fields down at Oakheart Road, where the complaint was that, you know, people are letting their dogs run wild and the kids can't use it because now they've got dogs that are fouled all over the place. You know, those sorts of things, it just comes down to the dog owners. You know, if they're going to let them run wild, there's nothing that we can do if we've supplied the bins and everything else. But we just said we would note it, and hopefully something can be done about making people a bit more aware.
Yeah, thank you for that update. And I do recall we had some new dog bins installed somewhere in the last couple of weeks. It's launched in, yeah, and it's not that area, but Florence was Lane. Yeah, we did. Yeah, and it looks like we did submit a report via the Public Protection Partnership on that front.
Madam Mayor.
Councillor Fraser.
So, comment on the muddy lane, aptly named. I suspect it's actually not in the Discovery Centre, but is owned. It is a private street, but I think it's owned by West Berkshire Council.
So if there is issues on that, it can be done via the West Berkshire Council report a problem.
It's also a bridle way. Like a horse rider or a cyclist to complain.
Does anyone have any further questions on the reports that we've received? Then I'll go on to 10B, which is reports from West Berkshire District councillors. So,
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Well, being busy, I'm getting a reputation as the white line councillor because I've been going around making sure that, for example, earlier in the year, the zebra crossing next to the green was painted. I have now since made sure that the white lines to the A4 have been repainted. Also on Floral Way, where there were a lot of these were worn out, and we've now put back all of the white lining in Floral Way as it comes along the A4 to the A4 junction, and the same is happening in Northfield Road. So personally think this is an important function of district councils. It's safety. I mean, I've had somebody come over going up, and it's been because I complained to, not complained, but raised it with the local councillor. The top end of Cordash Hill, there were no lines, and cars swang around, and even one clipped my wing mirror, which turned out to be quite expensive and a safety issue. So they've been languishing, and I think as a function of a unitary authority which includes highways, at the very least, the major junctions are clearly lined for the safety of the public, both cars, cycles, and pedestrians. So I will continue as long as there's a little bit of money left in the kitty. I'm looking at maybe around the other end of Sagecroft as it comes into Park Lane and such like. If you have any public wish to raise any further major junctions that don't have white lines, please, I'd be very happy to raise it, but it's just something that I managed to get my teeth into, and it does make you feel good to be able to, you know, improve the lot of the public in Thatcham. Thank you.
Thank you, Cotton. Councillor Stevenson, and then I'll come to you, Councillor Lilly.
It is completely in domain, so I'm sure I can say why Councillor Jeff Brooks is not here this evening, because he's in the east of West Berkshire, defending our land, you might say, against a land grab being made by Reading Council, who have, out of the blue really, I mean some months ago now, decided that if the amalgamation of West Berkshire Council goes to form the Ridgeway Council, then they will take several parts of East West Berkshire for themselves. And there is a meeting to talk about that. And as I understand it, people have held public meetings over there. Councillor Shakespeare held one in Pangbourne, and 100% of the people who voted in his survey said they don't want to go to Reading, they want to stay in West Berkshire. So that's happening. I'm sure everybody's aware that we're going across to 3 weekly black bin collections, been quite controversial. And of course, the people like my neighbours opposite me who have an overflowing black bin are the ones who are complaining. Because, to be honest, they are probably the people not doing enough recycling. And that is the whole point of this, is to encourage recycling. No matter what you read in the Newbury Weekly News, it is not some devious method. We are trying to encourage recycling, and also later next year the government is going to put a massive fine onto any councils that are doing too much of the landfill and black bin disposal methods. We are going to save over £1 million by getting this in now, to encourage residents not to chuck everything in the black bins but to recycle it. But anyone who really does have a need can apply for a special larger bin if they need it.
Thank you very much for that update, Stevenson. Councillor Lindcroft.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Actually, not the point I was going to make, but I think it's a more important one in a sense, in response to what Councillor Stevenson said. I think communication and information is absolutely key to every aspect of recycling. And it's quite clear that wherever you go in the country, the rules and the stipulations about recycling are different. And actually knowing exactly what we can recycle is key to making sure that the 3 weekly bin plan works. So the more information I think we can share and get out there about what can be recycled and what can't, I think is absolutely key.
Thank you, Councillor Lindcroft. Right, we'll go on to 10C, which is outside body reports. And yes, Councillor Pike, did you want to say something?
Well, I'm actually going to go on to
Okay.
first on the list.
I'm going to have to be a bit careful because there's a lot of people not here tonight. So, yes, Councillor Pike, over to you for the Association of Local.
Thank you. So, to be reasonably brief, it's holding its AGM on the 13th of November at Shaw House. Technically speaking, we're entitled to one representative who can vote. There's not normally a contentious vote. I am actually a representative of the executive, but not the AGM. So if we could confirm at the end of, after my second point, that I can vote or not, that the mayor can appoint someone else if I'm unable to attend. The second point is that, which is particularly relevant at the moment, is that it's complicated. So BALC is the Berkshire Association of Local Councils. Its secretariat is provided by the Hampshire Association of Local Councils, and we are entitled to ask them for advice on legal matters. And if they can't answer it, they can go to NALC, the National Association of Local Councils, which is very helpful. And indeed, that individual councillors are able to register for access to a number of information sheets on the NALP website, which is some of which are quite useful, not only for officers but for councillors as well. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go, I'm going to go across, so we'll go to Thatcham Nature Discovery Centre, which is Councillor Lily.
Nothing to report on that one, Madam Mayor. I haven't been aware of any big issues coming up, and there haven't been any meetings.
Thank you. Dementia Friendly West Berkshire, I think that's going to be down to me. I attended their local monthly meetings. They had the opening of the, is it the Mela a month or so ago, which was wonderful. But apart from that, I don't really have many updates. We've actually got a Dementia Friendly West Berkshire meeting this week, so it's bad timing. So, that's all at the minute. Thatcham Parish Hall. I'm going to come to you, Councillor Pike, or Councillor Pike, if you give an update.
I wasn't at the committee meeting, but generally speaking, things are going okay. It is at least breaking even, and the reserves are building up for the work which will inevitably be needed, as it's quite an elderly building, which has been extended on numerous occasions without complete diligence about construction techniques.
Thank you for that. Friends of Thatcham Library, which is Councillor Shafar.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. So there's been some good work out in the garden area. Nice park's been put down. They've really done some landscaping. There's been a new bench. They had a gazebo up over the summer. They've had some beautiful artwork by Carly, who works at Howden. She's done some amazing artwork, which I looked at and thought, wow, it's the real deal. And it is. She's a fabulous artist on maternity leave, and so full credit to her. They had a minimum morning really recently, and they raised £151. There's great buzz. People that know the library and new people as well. So that's really good. So yeah, that's that one.
Thank you. Thatcham Relief in Need and parochial charities. Councillor Cole.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Very much business as usual. Giving donations as usual. We still struggle with giving away all the money that we receive. Although we did make a donation of £5,000 to the food bank for the Hungry Holidays scheme. As far as the almshouses are concerned, no issues.
Thank you for that update. Greenham and Crookham Common, and that's Councillor.
Thank you. So, those who don't know, the Crookham Common is the part that's in Thatcham Parish. So there's just a couple of things there that the Corn Exchange have started organising events on the Common in coordination with the Commission, and there is an anomaly within Crookham Common, that part of it called Thatcham called the Pools was not formerly part of the Common because as originally defined, because it was not restored. It has been restored a long time ago, and that's now been formalised to bring it up to the same status as the rest. Most of the other things are ongoing matters. Gorse is a major, the growth of gorse is a major issue, and on the opposite side, grazing by cattle, or not avoiding overgrazing by cattle. There's nothing substantial to report.
Thank you for that update. We'll skip the next one because that's Councillor Lunn, Thatcham Support Welfare Society. We've got Hennick Worthy Sports Field, JMC.
Thank you. Yeah, no. So it's the meeting wasn't able to be caught. We had an informal discussion, which was useful. Obviously, we couldn't decide on anything, so anything did go to Paul Hendry was there. There's a couple of things that we've gone online with, shall I say. And yes, we've got some ideas for the next meeting. Yep.
I think one of the key things here is that West Berkshire Council has commissioned a master plan developed by consultants. I was a little worried at the meeting at the lack of, we had an initial meeting, but since then, the lack of engagement on the development of that master plan report until it is, from the consultant's perspective, completed and possibly goes to West Berkshire Council for approval before we get to even the JMC, let alone the council gets to see it, which is rather disappointing.
Thank you. Councillor Cole.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The other issue that we have with Headingworthy Sports Field is the still, I think, unresolved matter of the substantial final quarter bill that we had as a town council, which came as a rather nasty surprise. We have been offered and accepted a meeting with Paul Hendry of West Berkshire Council to go through that in greater detail. As far as I'm aware, that hasn't been fixed yet. From the council's point of view, is no problem for this year, in that we do actually, or we carved out some money to pay that if needs be. Although we'd still like to know how it happened, why this massive spend occurred. Substantial. What worries me probably more for next year's budget is that if that carries on into next year, we could find another 30-odd thousand that we're not expecting. So I'd be fascinated to find out what the detail is once we actually get the meeting.
As will I. Okay, thank you for that update.
Respond to that the rather convoluted documentation relating to the JMC does actually provide that we agree that the JMC agrees a budget in advance of the year. Obviously, there are variations that will happen during the year, but I think on balance, a significant part of that overspend was known about before. Not the distribution between different items, but that should happen.
Councillor Cole.
I would point out, Madam Mayor, that we did not see the budget. It was not shared with us at the beginning of the last year.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much for that thorough update. Next is the Thatcham Town Cricket Club Committee, and that's Councillor Boyd.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. I've been unaware that there was a meeting, so I have nothing to report.
Thank you very much. Homestart West Berkshire, and that's myself. I don't really have much to report on this, so we can move on to the Thatcham Volunteer Bureau, and that's Councillor Watts.
They don't meet very often, and they did have one that was very interesting when we had an outdoor. Somebody came up to speak to us, and she called it "When I Went to Space." Only it wasn't. It was zero gravity, and there was all these cosmonauts gamboling in zero gravity, including 4 people, Elon Musk. Well, that's the only reason I managed that. We've got another meeting on the 8th of October. It should have been on the 17th, the AGM of this month, but it was changed. But we'll always do with more drivers. So that's all I've got to report.
Thank you for that update. Next is Kennet Leisure Centre, JAC. Councillor Shipper-Hart.
Yep. Thank you, Madam Mayor. So I unfortunately was unable to make the meeting. I do believe it fell on the same day as another thing we were having on. The next one is on the 20th of November, which also happens to be a group meeting. So I don't quite understand. I don't understand how the meeting date came around. Luckily, it's at 6, so potentially one of us could go. But we will have to excuse ourselves. Well, within the hour, because that'll be at Kennet School, and then we got to get here. So I can see Councillor Stevenson got a hand up to speak as well. Thank you.
Councillor Stevenson.
Yes, I'm the West Berkshire Council representative on the committee, and they never asked me to report on anything. so I might as well record here. So I was able to go, and I think it's very awkward for you, Councillor Shephart. And it was my fault that I pointed out the clash, because in fact our meeting with the Kennet Leisure Centre thing is 6 till 7.
Yeah.
So we can come straight on to group here afterwards. But it was okay, the meeting, but I do need to mention that the Kennet school, now it's an academy, is asking questions about electricity bills. And I think it's your fault, Councillor Cotton. Councillor Brooks and you were responsible for setting up the initial contract many years ago, and you agreed that the Kennet school usage could use the power source, whatever it is. And now, of course, they don't want to pay anything that belongs to the leisure centre, so they don't want to heat the water, that sort of thing. So there is a little bit more of a contentious issue rising about that. Otherwise, everything's going well, and I do find everyone active to be a very professional organisation, much better. Predecessors whose names I've already forgotten.
Legacy loan.
Those people. So everyone active really do appear to me to be a very professional organisation.
And I totally agree on that. Thank you. Councillor Cole.
Thank you, the Mayor. Firstly, can I declare an interest as Chair of Trustees of the Equinox Academy Trust, which includes Kennet. The question of the electricity is not that we don't want to pay the electricity, it's just that there is no arrangement. Councillor Brooks is very kindly trying to get us to up the payment that we do make, and we pointed out the fact that the electricity is actually seems to be coming through the Kennet school meter. So there are considerable discussions in course at the moment between Councillor Brooks and Kennet school head teacher.
Councillor.
I must apologise for what I did about 35 years ago.
Well, thank you for that thorough update. Next one we have is Thatcham Youth, and I think that's going to be you, Councillor Shephart, again.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So there was a well-attended summer day events. There are lots of events going on. There is still some issues surrounding the cleaning contract, which I know that our acting town clerk is in the process of with Paige. So that's kind of in-house. Thank you very much for that. And the College have moved out. So there's been some email communication around that as well. I think they're waiting on a new building, I do believe. But yes, so apart from that, pack testing done by our lovely team. Thank you very much. And there's been hopefully some Muggleite repairs and new hand dryers, etc. But the building looks very nice. Like when you see the paintwork compared to previous year, absolutely brilliant. It looks really fresh. I think it's just that I think they use it on a more regular basis, so they would notice the cleanliness. But it's really good. Like they're using the tuck shop. They've done some really great things. They've had some new equipment and some new wardrobes. They're looking at getting up to date gaming systems, control, like PlayStations, etc. that aren't decades old when I was probably using them. But yeah, so it's just good. And they appointed Suzanne and myself as chair and vice chair, because then at least one of us hopefully should be at the meeting. So yes, so thank you very much for. So really, I feel it's a good collaboration between the two. It really works well. So thank you very much for making that.
Thank you. The next one is Lady Francis. Yeah, there you go.
Stand in order. Okay, so yes, so there's been a few applications decided. Obviously, it's one school. Kennet does tend to get more people over. We are really trying to help Trinity. As long as obviously the student lives in the parish of Thatcham. There was some deliberation in one of the meetings over, so say a student goes to school in Kennet, but because of social housing reasons, I'm quite passionate about, they happen to then move to Newbury. It's not, there are obviously some financial implications there, but because of their postcode is not Thatcham, then what are the legalities there? But they still go to one of the two schools and started their schooling in there. They just happen to have moved, and the ruling behind it is very old and antiquated, made many years ago. And I'm trying to provide for students of the now and the present that have been to these schools who are suffering through poverty is the wrong word, well, it is the right word, I suppose, because their parents have to declare how much money they earn and, you know, be very honest about it, but it then gets rejected because they may live outside of the boundary, but they still go to one of the schools. And we were just discussing what qualifies a student, because it's going towards very small cost towards a university, maybe some print costs, a laptop, anything. And these are our future generation of people. We want to make sure that everything is equity, equality. There we go. So yeah.
Thank you for that update. Nice to know a little bit more. The next one is the Thatcham Old Blue Coat School.
No update as of the moment.
Thank you. Eco Friends West Berkshire Councillor Lillycroft.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There hasn't been a meeting recently, but I think it's worth mentioning that a lot is going on in the area to reinforce our sustainable and eco credentials, and the eco living market. I was only joking about the price of the drinks. I mean, that was a really good event, and it struck me talking to some of the stallholders. Some of them had come from Stratford, from Leicester, from all over the place. And if we can gain a reputation as a town where eco-friendly events take place on a regular basis, I think that's really good. Our own plastic-free credentials as a council are very important too. Of course, we have our own sustainable product company in the market who I think recently celebrated seven years.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think things are going very well on that front.
Yeah, thank you for that update. I think it was Thatcham Refillable
It is.
had celebrated their
Yes,
7
yeah.
years.
Sorry,
It is Thatcham.
Yeah.
It was a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
because he was given birthday cake.
The next one is we're going to have to bypass that because it's Councillor Jeffries who's not here tonight. Thatcham Allotment Gardening Club, and that's me. So they have a committee meeting this Friday. I've attended a few of their coffee mornings. They seem happy with everything. They brought up about plots sometimes not being used, but they're very proactive on come and report that to the officers. So nothing else apart from that to update. We're going to have to bypass these councillors.
Sorry, can I feedback on this next one?
Yes,
Because I attended the online follow-up committee meeting following the tragic circumstances of 3 suicides at Thatcham Station. And 2 of those people lived in Central Ward, the Wheat Sheaf. That was a revelation to me that West Berkshire Council were using the Wheat Sheaf for temporary accommodation. And it turns out that now they know are no longer doing it. You will know that Suzanne Adamantos and others, and particularly Emily, have been arranging with the highest powered people in Great Western Railway, who we've probably never spoken to before in our lives, and other people at that level, to do a lot of work at Thatcham Station to make it less forbidding, more welcoming. There's going to be a piece of artwork commissioned in that sort of white hut on the Newbury outside. There's going to be planters put in the spring. And on the 10th of October, unfortunately, I'm not even in the county then, there's going to be a special event down on the station. And I'm sure you will be going, both the mayor and deputy mayor, because it's going to be particularly for suicide awareness and its mental health issues as well. There's new signs up from the Samaritans. The trouble is they said they had to get the balance. You don't want to put the idea into someone's head, but if they are looking for a number, you want it to be there. So you don't flood the place with notices, but you have them at strategic points. Right at the end of the meeting in AOB, I asked, can anyone tell me why Thatcham? And it's accessible. They gave me some figures for some stations round and about, way worse. quite frightening, really. It was just tragic circumstances for those people. But I think it's wonderful that Emily has particularly got herself thrown in and involved in making the station better.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. And I know Emily has put a lot of work into working with the GWR and other teams and the mural that's going up and the planters. I know with that in mind, I did my suicide prevention training because I'd like to be one of the volunteers that helps and tends to the flowers down there. So might be something as a council we can all look at doing our suicide prevention training. I'm not sure how worthwhile. I think it's really, really important. Right, I've lost my place now. So the next one is Thatcham Flood Forum, and that's Councillor Lillycrop.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, the SWMP hasn't met for a while now because the funding for the flood work has been concluded some time. But as with conversations earlier this evening, everybody's very anxious to see the conclusion of the flood work on the Memorial Field and Brownsfield, and the completion of the dog-friendly area, and that hasn't been completed yet. And it's good to see West Berks being more vocal and clearer in their sort of plans to complete those final parts. Obviously, any further communication is very useful, but hopefully we can ask people to be patient for just a little bit longer for the conclusion of this scheme. I know members of the Flood Forum in particular are very keen to officially see the end of the flood alleviation work, and to have a photo opportunity to say, here it is, we've done it, and this 15-year scheme has now been put in place and is protecting our great town. So we're as close to it as ever we were, I think. And we look forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you for that update. The next one is the West Berkshire Therapy Centre. Stevenson?
Yes, thank you. To summarise this as one step forward, two steps back. But I would like to commend our acting town clerk for trying to get to grips with this is a simple thing. No, it's not. Nothing in this is simple. Not even where they want to put the car park. So the latest thing is that SSE have to have the right to into anything that goes in that particular area to get to their cabling. And Laura's discovered all manner of difficulties that may face progress of this project, but shall I just say that we're positive about it, and Laura's trying her best.
Thank you for that update. Councillor Cole, it's you next, the Thatcham Memorial Foundation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Beverly Close alleyway, RNA last Monday approved the contract, or approved the money for the contract to resurface the alleyway. I believe all the paperwork's been done for the transfer, but there was one
little bit, yes,
one little bit that solicitors require for the land registry. Hopefully that's not going to delay the resurfacing of the alleyway. So that's the end of a very long saga on that one. The other long saga, of course, being the remainder of the field. As Deputy Mayor alluded to, West Berkshire some months back actually finally acknowledged that the field was not finished, which they had been claiming for about a year, and blaming the Memorial Foundation for the fact that it was still in a state, which was somewhat irritating, especially as Memorial Foundation was sitting on the flat in West Berkshire wasn't. However, they've now acknowledged that the field shouldn't have been signed off as being complete because it paid no business. But they are actually now working on it. So that's positive. On Thursday this week, there is the 4-yearly election of community trustees at a public meeting. So there are 9 applicants for the 6 trustee roles. If nothing else, all the publicity over the last few years has actually generated some interest, because normally there aren't enough trustees wanting to stand, and the remaining trustees come up. So that's all good. So looking forward to having an election. The meeting of the existing trustees, the constitution of the Memorial Foundation is somewhat weird. There is a public meeting, there is a public vote, but the actual selection of the trustees is then done by the 6 nominated trustees at another meeting.
Okay.
The only reason I can think of why that was done in that way is, for example, if one of the higher decided to put up 6 candidates and all got elected, then you could think that that hire may possibly try and influence the whole vote for that purpose. So I guess it's a safeguard facility. I'm glad to say that nothing like that is happening. It's a broad spread of some, I have to say, some exceptionally good people to replace these exceptionally good people who are retiring from being trustees, some of whom have done more than 10 years as trustees. So that will take place over the next
Thank you for that update. Councillor, thank you.
Thank you. I suspect they're reading the company law of CICs because we've had an election of a very large electorate potential, the whole of Thatcham. And it'd be very difficult, I think, to incorporate into the company law appropriate for CICs. I think it's a process which probably was intended to be a formality, but I think it was probably a necessary step.
Thank you. And the last update is from Councillor Adamantas, who is not here, so we're gonna have to that one. Councillor Stevenson.
I know you didn't have any other business, but I wonder if I could just take the opportunity to say that when I went to the lovely vegan market yesterday, I sat and ate my vegan lunch, which was delicious, on one of our benches. I was sitting next to 2 young women in their 20s. One lives in Thatcham, just moved here a few months ago, one from Newbury, and they both said to me that they thought Thatcham was the most wonderful community. One of the women had moved from a suburb in London, and so she said this was a huge contrast. They thought it was great. They thought all our events were wonderful, and she particularly mentioned how safe she felt, which I thought really was a worthy thing to pass on to the council.
Indeed.
And could we thank Emily again for organising the vegan fair?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that update. We've now reached the end of the meeting. That's all the business on the agenda completed. The time is, can't quite see it. 8 minutes past 8, and I'm now gonna say this meeting has ended.